outcome is could be a model for how humans can live on Earth. And coming from a place like this is really something unique. We've got some complications though on the Wild Coast, or challenges as far as that is concerned, like environmental sensitivity. You know, everybody wants to protect the Wild Coast, and it's a very sensitive area, so that the government has got all kinds of legislation to protect it. So first of all, you have to work through that. And then community-owned products. That is something that you don't get very easily anywhere on the earth. It's always big international corporations or whatever that own stuff. Here, our thing is 100% community ownership. But that's also difficult because people haven't got the skills and this and that to really create products of excellence. You know, something that is valuable and that people would want to come to, for instance, if it's a tourism product like accommodation or whatever. So this plan is basically about getting that together. You don't need to know where we are. Then one thing that is really unique and why we think we can do this is because we've been coming for a long time and we've got this kind of relationships set up, established already that we worked at for a long time with this community. Basically it's Ward 26 and Ward 25, but mainly Mankosi community in that. And then we've helped to create that body, you know, in Mankosi, which is really a true, sincere representing body. We're working with tribal authority. We are locally based as Transcape. We're not an outside organization or anything. So, and then we work with government in a big time, and we've got lots of networks with academical institutions as well that are bringing expertise to this whole thing. We've got guys that's done the research here. We are gathering crayfish statistics for University of Cape Town. We've got the University of KwaZulu-Natal, their tourism department, that is bringing a group here now that are working with us, that's doing evaluational reports on the relationship between tourism and development, all those kind of things. So we've got that, for instance. This is the whole thing just caught in a nutshell. Okay, there you've got community and nature, basically, the soil. But in our community, these bodies is established representing the community. So it's a diverse thing as well. It's not only one body that is responsible for the whole community, but you can see there we've got four. Transcape is part of it because we've been played such a big role in a long time. You can see that just gives an idea of the kind of soil that you need for this to happen. You know, you can't do this within a soil of greed or things like that. You need fairness and those kind of things. Then, now what is evolving is that to get that into fruits, basically, that could give back to the people the things that they need. This is based on what do people need to live and to have an abundance. How do you create those fruits? So in our country, we have got, you know about the cooperative movement. That is something that is becoming quite big. So we've got lots of our government departments that have got cooperative supporting programs. And what's nice of a cooperative, it's one of maybe 4 legal business entities that you could start if you want to start a business. But a cooperative is different in the sense that there's no shareholders and the employees or this or that. Everybody that's working in there is shareholders equally. They share everything fairly. And it's an open, non-exclusive kind of entity, which means anybody can join it at any time. You can't just these few people that's on the board decide who comes and who leaves and this and that. Anybody with the right skills, whatever, cannot be prevented to join that cooperative. So those are, if you really think about it, extremely valuable things that make it completely different from any other business entity that are existing. So we want to use that. And then in the tourism sphere, we've got the legs of Mdumbi Green Destination Tourism Resort, which is forming. I'll talk just about that a little bit more now, about the tourism product in itself. And then they can produce those fruits which fall back to the ground and feed the roots again. Because what this is based on is the co-ops get all the jobs, they own the resort, but they only keep 10% of the profits. 90% they have a contract with these representing community bodies. You can see 5%, 50%, 30%, and 5%. So they keep 10%, 90% goes to these bodies that these bodies can then use to sustain, like Mdumbi Education Center, for instance, the salaries that needs to be paid, to do things like a forest rehabilitation program, to start new developments and things in the community, to provide a health program for the community, that kind of idea. So it is not in the world out there when you start a business, you keep all the profit. This basically gives 90% of the profit back. But the people there own the resort, they got the jobs, so through that they are 100% taken care of. But they know that this product doesn't belong to them, it belongs to the community. The most important thing probably of this whole thing is this. It is not so clear now because it's a bit light, but the managerial facilitator. That is sitting because the people haven't got the capacity yet. And a cooperative have to have meetings, they have to do accounting, all those things where the people will take a long time until they are capable to do that. And the cooperatives have to work with these representing bodies all the time. So it's difficult to see that happening. So Transcape then plays that role for a fee paid by the income made by those cooperatives. They provide services like accounting, HR, and marketing, all those kind of services to make the thing viable and to let it work. So just about Mdumbi Green Destinations, the tourism product we want to do on the point is basically 16 cabins, 48 beds. There will be a restaurant, a spa, with some jacuzzis. It's a bit more upper market, 500 rand per person per night. The main thing about it is it will be the fairest tourism product because it is 100% community owned. So all the money that people pay there goes straight back through those representing bodies that I showed you, Mankosi Community Association, Tribal Authority, Transcape, which the projects we do in the community, that money goes back to community. And then the cooperatives, which is also local community members, that keeps 10% and have all the jobs. The other main thing of this is it is probably the greenest product in the southern hemisphere. So I'll get to that now and tell you more about that. This is just on the point. There is the ocean and the point. That is where the existing huts of forestry are now. Arian, you will maybe know that this is where the old family was. I don't go into much. I don't think you're so interested in the exact layouts and stuff of the product. Just this thing on the side of the green is, imagine a guest come there and he can order, while lying in a solar heated jacuzzi, a cocktail and a crayfish that was cooked with a solar oven. These are the kind of things built into the kitchen of the restaurant. Will be solar ovens and solar cookers. The water will be heated by wood burning as well as solar water heating, so integrated system that have that. We've got engineers in Cape Town that's helping us to design these kind of things. Then maybe one more very nice thing of this is integrated in this program is people, 5 people that are permanently employed to work on a program to rehabilitate the forest, because these forests are invaded by all kinds of alien plants. The goats prevent the forest to naturally just grow back. So people coming to this resort, through the money that they are paying, they are making it possible to get nature back to what nature is supposed to be. You can also, the carbon footprint that they are making to come here, the guests, can be kind of equaled out through the trees that are planted in the forest rehabilitation program. So this product gives to any tourist the opportunity that they can know all the money they spend here goes to some of the poorest people in Africa, and secondly, they're contributing to fixing nature, basically. So there's not many tourism products that do that. Just the Mdumbi Green Destination tourism product, it will cost about between 17 and 20 million rand that we need to build the whole thing and set it up. It's got the 4 legs of the accommodation, the restaurant, the spa, and then all the activities. Basically, those 4 cooperatives that will own it. And then the salaries that go out per year, about 2 million rand, and so forth. The profit that it will bring in at 50%, according to our projections, it looks like about 2.5 million rand a year that can come in, just at 50% capacity. That will go to those representing bodies that could be used. That is how we can basically become sustainable.
How did you get to this profit? To like go and seek what kind of a market is there for a project like this, or because do you know for a fact that people will come? So research.
Yeah. We've done some feasibility. I mean, our municipality has employed consultants to do their whole tourism strategy planning. Our district municipality has done the same thing now in the last 2-3 years, and I'm part of all that stuff and get all those reports and things. So we've used a lot of that information. We've also contacted and looked at all the other businesses which are more or less at this level, 500, 600 rand per person per night, that's on the Wild Coast, and what their average capacity is per year. And this product is offering 1,000 times more than any one of those. Like I said, it's 100% community owned, and it's fixing nature. So tourists come here. This is one of the biggest concerns with any tourist today, is the damage they are doing, and that they are so privileged to be able to go on holiday. With this way, they're actually, by going on holiday, fixing nature, and they're helping poor people. So in that sense, we believe we'll definitely do it. But it's just, you can work out easily the profit margins. It's like I work on 500 rand per person per night, and you work out at full capacity, and then you just take it to half capacity, take off all the expenses. So it's just a simple projection. This is just now so that is Ndumbi Green Destinations. That's one of the legs. Okay, so that's the tourism potential that is here and that the community has. But then there's fertile soil, which is the agricultural side, food production and those things. Local materials, which is the manufacturing side by which people create stuff. And then the services that people need, like education, transport, health, those kind of things. So these are the main 4 legs of the whole overall program. And then we've got Ndumbi Green Destinations for the tourism. On the agricultural side, these are some things that I want to mention to you guys. For instance, that we are working on what we call a sustainable eco-homesteads program that is focused on motivate people to start their gardens up at their homes, and they just need the basic stuff. They're very motivated actually to do this, many of them. They need the fence, and many times they need some water. But at the same time, just by adding a little bit more water, you can create a water supply for the family. People have to walk now like almost 1 kilometer to 5 kilometers just to get water, and there is enough rain here. There's too much rain. So just by figuring out a plan how to harvest the rainwater, you can provide water. Then with simple solar systems, like I hope I can show you at the Edmund today, you can create hot water for them. That's very cheap to do. So it's like creating a sustainable eco-homestead where people can live. It's basically what I want to do at my own house. How can I live there that I don't need anything from the outside, and I can leave it behind, the soil stays fertile, everything. My children can also live there forever. These are like proper solutions, So that's one thing. And we estimate the cost of doing one homestead to be like between 30 and 50,000 rand. So it's not that expensive because it's just basic stuff and then lots of training. So this is, for instance, something that maybe Kwaza would be interested in, where you actually tell donors, listen here, you're helping a poor family with water, with nutritious food, with hot water, we also put in composting toilet, so it creates fertilizer, but it's also sanitation, so you're giving the whole package to a family, which is a nice thing. Then we're also looking at other things in agriculture. On the materials, these are also a few things that you can help with. Like, for instance, in furniture making, I was thinking, if you say to make one set of something, but we work out the cost to put up the whole place and the tools and the maintenance of that, and so per table that people make, you can get kind of people to donate for a table or for whatever, and it creates the infrastructure or whatever, things like that, packages like that we can put together. Then, and there's all the services that I told you about. There's also with the forest rehabilitation. I don't know if you could think of if you can get donors to give money for a tree, basically, so we need so many trees to get the forest, but actually they pay a bit more than just for the cost of the tree, so that it can also cover some of the salaries and stuff until we get sustainable with Ndumbi Green Destinations. So with all of that already in place, but most of it, it's like the relationship with the community, networks with government, us who are here already for 10 years. We've got lots of understanding of the environmental systems, of earth building and all those kind of things. We believe that this whole thing is actually possible, if we break it up in nice packages. So, yeah, I think that's more or less it. I want to show you just quickly this one image that is, the other one I showed you was just on the tourism side. So it had in there the 4 legs, the 4 tourism cooperatives, like the accommodation, restaurant, spa and activities. This is the whole program industry, where that is still the same, and then Transcape is still there, the facilitating body for that. But there's the tourism leg, agriculture leg, manufacturing, and the different services with all the products that are coming from that actually just feeds back to the people again on the ground. That's it.
How's the project going to influence the Xhosa people over here in a cultural way? Not just the money part, but their culture.
And you can see sport and cultural cooperative.
Yeah.
So that is something that one thing that is coming from this now, where it looks like where it's going to. On the tourism side, we've got Ndumbi Green Destinations that we are working at, that most of this was about. Then there's a other thing that jumps out where we want to move the new education center to, is what we call now Amakonjwayo Multifunctional Center, which is a site was already allocated by the community for it. The community has been nagging us to help them with a community hall for a long time, which is exactly for these kind of things what you are talking about. So they can keep alive their cultural things, but they are struggling to have meeting places. Now at the Amakonjwayo Multifunctional Center, there's plans like with the Entertainment and Events Cooperative, that they will start a place where the culture can move to with their music things. They've got choirs that are singing, but they're always looking for places to do this and for that to develop and become something. So I don't know. I don't know with the whole co-op thing, how it would influence it. The thing what we think is, at the moment there's many people just sitting, they don't know how to connect and interlink with Western civilization and how to participate with it. And this co-op thing actually offers one way, but we don't know how it's exactly. We've formed a few cooperatives already, but we're busy to get them more active. So then we can see how that will work out and what the effect of it will be. But for us, basically, we are continuously writing proposals to you and whoever for funds to address issues, while there are major human resource here, people sitting around not knowing how to help themselves. And there's lots of resources here. So that's another way to solve these problems, and a more sustainable way.
It seems to be that it's a kind of vision you have, or Transcape has, and out of that vision you create proposals for small projects. That's the
It's
behind this.
It's one way to look at it, but on the other hand, it's also the bringing together of lots of things that has developed over the last 10 years. Like Ndumbi Green Destinations came up long before this. The sustainable eco-homestead thing, for instance, or to restart the gardens is something we've been talking about a long time. The microfinance thing is doing that already in one or other way. This is just bringing it together in a logical form, and then you have some structure whereby you can
So it's a bit the same as with all the HIP projects we have in the past. Then we just brought it all together, and then we create one big proposal, and then the Danish people jumps in because they knew you had experience with all those small kind of projects.
Something like that. Okay. Any other questions? So, I think for me in Mankosi, wherever we are going to will always fit in there somewhere, you know, and it just helps us to keep direction in a way. So I was just thinking it is nice for you to see the whole picture and how, then maybe understand better where we're coming from when we come with things, because you see where we want to go to. Okay, should we go and visit places?
Let's go. So with your permission, I recorded it.